All right, guys, what's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the live stream today, February 5th, 2023, coming at you live for the next hour. So what's going on, guys? So we'll wait for YouTube to catch up, and there's a little delay, and the chat and all that good stuff. So, yeah, we'll talk about some other stuff that we're watching. Walking Dead, not too much information going around right now. Last of Us is going strong. We're coming up on episode 4. So far, first 3 episodes have been really good. I'm excited to talk about anything else we want to talk about on there as well. But thank you guys for being a part of it. We'll wait for the chat to go on there. Thank you, Rob K. Negan1. Thank you guys for being a part of it. And I can see the chat. I'm excited. I'm always like a little worried now about the chat when it didn't load that one time. I'm like, what's going on? What's up, Adam? What's up, Big Tree? So Pro Bowl today, Pro Bowl weekend, no football until next Sunday for the Super Bowl. And I got to talk about it because last time we were talking about the live stream, we talked about football, and both of my teams that I was rooting for lost, and that's just the way it goes. But either way, you know, the top seeds, the Chiefs and the Eagles, will play on Sunday, next Sunday, for the Super Bowl in Arizona, and I'll be watching, checking out some of the commercials. I know we're going to get a Breaking Bad style commercial with Walt White, Jesse Pinkman, that was directed by Vince Gilligan. Pretty cool stuff. I'm probably going to do a video later this week about Atlanta Comic-Con. That's coming up at the end of the month. I think it's February 24th or 23rd through the 26th, I think, that weekend. And it's in Atlanta. And there's some... So it's in Atlanta that... and there's going to be some Walking Dead fans there, too, so... Keep it classy, Ken. That's a good person right there, right? You know, it's hilarious, though. You know, so like I told everybody that I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? And I don't know, a lot of Cowboys fans get a lot of hate for being a fan, and it's funny because like there's other fan base, like there's fans of every team that people like and everything that are a pain in the butt and over the top, but I think there's other fan bases that are way worse than the Cowboys fans. But maybe I'm just biased because I'm a Cowboys fan. We'll see there too. So Negan1 says, we are making snack chips like crazy in Arizona. I'm at work right now. Well, be careful, Negan1. Be safe if you're working and hearing the chat on there. But yeah, I know. I can imagine what it's like because I lived in Tampa Bay for so many years, and there's been Super Bowls here. Even though the pandemic Super Bowl was here, and then there's been previous Super Bowls, but a lot of people come into town. So the hotels, the rental cars, the streets, the businesses, the restaurants, everything gets flooded with people, probably starting the week of the Super Bowl. Reporters and everything else, they got a place to stay, place to eat, place to be, all that stuff, party, whatever. And I can only imagine how many people actually come to the city that you're there. So, you know, last week's episode of The Last of Us was really good. We met Bill and Frank and their story. So what I'm seeing about the first 3 episodes of The Last of Us show, we all know it's a video game, whether you played it or not, but they are expanding on the video game that they didn't show in the video game. So the story is there. We have Joel, Ellie, Tess, Bill, Frank, Marlene, Tommy, all those people there too. So, you know, we still haven't seen Tommy yet from the first episode, but we'll be starting to see it. We're going to be meeting new characters every week. And in this week's episode 4, we're going to meet even more characters, kind of the military aspect that's going around. So it's finally going to come around because that's kind of what we would have seen earlier on, but we didn't get there yet. We'll get it this episode for sure with Joel and Ellie being under attack. So we'll see there. So let me see the questions. Yenzi, hey Bri, how was your day? So my day's pretty good. Waking up with the cat chaos, you know. So my wife goes to work out at F45 in the mornings. She's continuing to go. I don't know if you saw my video about that, guys. I only went to one class, and I'm like, that's just not for me. So we got my wife goes every morning, so then I got to feed the cats and babysit the cats and separate them and stuff because Otis goes after Milo, and they can't really be around each other without supervision, that's for sure. So it's something that I got to deal with there, and then I try to either post a video or do this or get ready for today for the live stream days every Sunday. So it's definitely something that try to do. And then she comes home, we have breakfast, and we watch Mayor of Kingstown on Sunday mornings. And it's another good episode. I believe Adam is the guy that watches it. But it's one of those things where I feel the episodes are like, they're good and they're setting things up, but it's a little slow. You know, like it's a little like, or it's a little short. The episodes are like 37, 39 minutes, and you're like, man, I want at least 45. Give me close to an hour, you know. But a lot of stuff's happening and stuff with Mike and the, you know, Bunny and stuff, and the people that are in jail. I don't want to give anything away if you guys aren't watching it, but it's still a good season, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'll be interested to see what happens after the Jeremy Renner. If exactly, Bunny better be okay. Yeah, exactly. I like Bunny, even though, you know, he's a leader of a gang. You know, I still like the guy. I still feel like he's trying to do stuff the right way and whatever. And I kind of feel bad that he was coerced by Mike and stuff, you know. But yeah, that's a whole other live stream on there as well. Let me see some of the questions here that I've missed. Where's my John Wilder Q&A? Why did they kill that poor little boy in episode 2? I think it was on The Last of Us. Because he was infected. So they have the machines, the scanners, that when they scan your neck or inject your neck or whatever, they are green, means you're good, no infection, no cordyceps fungus, no parasite infection. The red means you're dead, basically, right? So the red is not good, so that's why they killed him off. The red also went off for Ellie, so Ellie's always going to come up red because she's infected, but she's immune from it too. So she's always going to come up infected because she has it in her body, but I guess she has the antibodies and the stuff is fighting against the cordyceps and it's one with her body or something. I don't know. We'll see if that's explained even further on there too. So that's why they killed the little boy. Constipated in Sin City. Hey, PT, I have a medical question for you. I used to wrestle professionally and I was injured in Puerto Rico wrestling the Steiner Bros. Really? I have lost 4 inches of cartilage in the neck and spine. I don't see a question here, Constipated in Sin City. But yeah, you're definitely, if you're a professional wrestler, you're hard on your body. I mean, you're hard on your joints. And so many wrestlers like have injuries all the time. I mean, I live in Florida. So there's Hulk Hogan right down Clearwater Beach and all these other people in the training facilities in Orlando and all this stuff too. You're hard on your body, and we're going to have arthritis. Everyone's going to have arthritis in their body. It's not hereditary. It's not this. It's not that. I mean, maybe more so if you have, there's different kinds of arthritis, but we're wearing down our joints. Arthritis means an inflammation of the joint. So the bones and the joints. So it's basically wear and tear on there. I saw you posted again here. Two kinds of vertebrae are fused together. I have problems with range of motion. So if you have a fusion, it's made for stability, because if you have unstable joints, they move too much, or hypermobility or too much mobility. You have to have a fusion if it's too much mobility because it's going to cause other problems. Could you give me some help with my pain? So pain is probably coming from the areas around it. It's probably going to be from your muscles and your tendons and your ligaments and your posture and your lack of mobility. I mean, in the United States, we're over-medicated, so you got to be careful with what you do on that. You got to do what works for you. If it's heat or ice, one or the other would be good for you. So you got to do what works for you. Some people love ice. Some people hate it. The general rule is if it's making you worse, don't do it. Hey, it bothers me when I do this. Well, don't do that, right? Is the funny line people said to people having an injury if they hurt themselves playing sports. But ultimately, you have to just do what works for you. I would do some gentle stretches, maybe some traction if you can get that, but gentle traction to help with the pain. If it gets bad enough, got to see a doctor, maybe get some PT, maybe get some electrical stimulation, maybe get something like that. It can help you with that, but it's hard to say from outside looking in. But I'm always a proponent of trying physical therapy first to work on some stuff that can work on stretches, mobility, muscular imbalances, and some of that. I'm not a person that likes medication myself. I feel like I have to really, really have a bad headache or muscles, aches, and pains to be taking something myself because we're so, over-medicated with it. and people can get addicted to opioids and everything there too, which is usually from chronic pain, and that's a whole other tangent. But the other thing is, if you can do something not for that, if you can deal with modalities, like I said, hot packs or cold packs or stretches or any kind of thing you can work on it, that's the best thing to do. But somebody would have to check you out and see what the actual cause is, because pain comes from different things. So it's not much I can give you, but that's the best advice I can give from this out, is to see somebody too, if it's bad enough and crippling you there too. Let's see. People are asking about Frank's illness, the sickness. No, Bill is the guy we met. He's Nick Offerman. Bill is the guy we had who had the house. Frank is the guy who fell into the hole, and Bill lived there. And Frank is the guy who ended up in the wheelchair at the end of the episode. And I don't know what the sickness was. I don't know, Mike. To me, it wasn't clear. Was it multiple sclerosis? Was it a brain tumor? Was it ALS? I don't know what it was. But Frank knew kind of what was going down. And I think he just knew that he outkicked his coverage, and he outlived his lifespan, and he was living on borrowed time, and they went out on their own. And it's a good episode, it was a good thing. And I love the idea of the survivalist mentality. I wish we saw that more on The Walking Dead or on Tales of the Walking Dead or something like that, even though we did see it with Terry Crews's character. I would have loved to see more of that as well. So if you put Terry Crews's episode of Tales of the Walking Dead, and you put Bill's episode, well, Bill and Frank, but Bill's episode on Last of Us, head to head, because they're basically the same thing. Terry Crews was living in a bunker in his house, had his own setup, blah, blah, blah. He never had to leave. He chose to leave to go find this woman for that. Bill hunkered down, did what he had to do. What do you really think of those? Are they a fair comparison? Because I think the Bill episode on the Last of Us is way better than the Tales of the Walking Dead episode. But, that's definitely my thing there. And sorry, I jumped back around for the questions. When I would say thank you guys for being here, I truly appreciate you guys taking the time. It's definitely something that I don't take for granted, and it definitely means a lot to me for you guys to be here. John, did you see the Royal Rumble? Sami Zayn finally turned Roman. Yeah, I didn't watch all you weren't here last live stream, John, but I watched the Royal Rumble, the actual match with the men, and then the next match with LA Knight and the Mountain Dew, whatever, with what's his name? Bray Wyatt. And the Fiend, I guess, I don't know what that really was with his makeup and his look and whatever. And then Uncle Howdy or whatever his name is showed up and stuff. So I saw that, and then the stream wasn't working and the stuff was there, so I turned it off. But I saw parts of it where Sammy stepped up. And you know that was going to happen too. You definitely saw that Sammy's. It's a good kind of story between the bloodline and this and him. And he's always linked to Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been linked for years now that I've seen. And I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they do their job. They do a good job as wrestlers. But yeah, it was definitely coming around for sure. There's a lot of talk about the spy balloon, and it's crazy times we live in still too, But I know a lot of people are making a big deal out of. Well, I don't know if a lot of people are, but some people are making a big deal out of Bill and Frank because it's two men in the episode. Would people be okay with it? It was two women. Why is that okay for that too? It's just a story that they went to go with, and they show it. And I know some people have a problem with, if it's not men and women or blah, blah, blah and whatever. And that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not to say one's right or wrong. But I don't think it was done in a way that was cheesy or terrible. The episode struggled with it. I think it was fine. And yeah, it might have been a little much and a little too much they shown here and there. And it would have been that much different. It was a woman that was there instead of Frank. If it was Fran instead of Frank, it would have been different, it's just crazy. So, yeah. Jeannie says, I was having fun the other day watching some of Bry's old prediction videos. Some of it he's spot on, but others he's so wrong. Yeah, no, I'm probably, I don't know, what would you say, Jeannie? Am I 50-50? Am I 90-10? Are predictions good? Are they off? Some are good, some are bad. But I was just thinking it as always the thing, what makes sense to me, what makes sense in the Walking Dead universe, or what makes sense or not what the writers do. Because, again, the writers can make crazy predictions and have different tangents and throw us off all the time. But if you had to give a percentage, Jeannie, what would you say? 50-50, 60-40, wrong to right? Because I had my predictions with the Red Theory for the final part. And I think the Red Theory holds up as a whole from season 1 to season 11. I think it's pretty good. The last episodes didn't hold true. We still had Father Gabriel and Jerry and Aaron and, there. But we did have, Rosita went, and Luke and Jules, I guess, were kind of, I don't know. But it's one of those things. So, I don't know. But it's just a fun thing for what it is. But ultimately, guys, the zombie apocalypse is always different. It's definitely something that is a cool thing. Also, guys, I want to put in my, hold on. I want to put, what is this thing doing? I don't know. I want to put in my guild for the No Man's Land. So if you guys are on No Man's Land, it's Fight For Us is the guild. I'm just typing, so bear with me. So if you play No Man's Land, it's a mobile game, and our guild is called Fight For Us, all one word. It may be lowercase, I'm not sure, because my friend that was a former subscriber to the channel, Hector, he made the guild, and he added me and did this on their stuff too. But recently, it's kind of fallen off, which I understand. It's one of those things where I love the idea of people coming together and do that, and when The Walking Dead was going on strong, the guild was going strong, and I cleared out a bunch of people that haven't played in the guild in like almost a year. So if you guys play No Man's Land, definitely check out and join Fight For Us, the guild. It's a chill group. We don't get crazy on there too, but when there is like right now, there's guild wars going on. It's something through the actual app. I need myself and 2 other people. We need at least 3 people to participate in 2 of the days. And I get myself and 1 other person, and we can't get that last person to play in the actual guild wars. And it's frustrating because we have enough people in the guild, and nobody wants to play enough on those things, and people don't. But there are people that participate, but not enough. So we have some openings in the guild. So if you want to participate in it and play it, if you haven't played it already, or if you're interested, definitely check it out and shoot a thing over, and I'll accept you into the guild for sure. Adam says, Q&A, Bri, do you think we will get to Pittsburgh tonight on The Last of Us? Well, I saw a clip of tonight's episode on The Last of Us because Pedro Pascal was on with Jimmy Kimmel, and he shows a clip of it, and it's him and Ellie by a car, and he's being fired at by the, military. And he tells Ellie to go into this thing and hide and do this and stay down and get down. And he's firing. And I want to say they're around Kansas City. So I think they bypassed that area on there as well. But I figured they would go from Boston to Pittsburgh to the Midwest, and then the Midwest to Wyoming, and then Wyoming to Utah is kind of the route that I thought they would go. So I don't know if we're actually going to get to Pittsburgh or not. It may be a brief stop in the episode for tonight, but I think they eventually get past there and move it along further west, because if we only have 9 episodes, tonight's episode 4. So it's basically the halfway point, little less than the halfway point, and then episode 5 would be more than the halfway point. So they have to get, progress it a little bit. And I see what they're doing, right? So basically, they start in Texas with Joel, then we're in Boston, and then they go pretty fast to these spots, and then they get to the winter, stuff happens, they get over to here, Tommy here, there, then they get to Utah, and it's pretty quick. Like if they're just doing the cutscenes of the game or the story of the game, it's probably like 5 episodes. But they are dragging out a little bit to fit 9, and I think HBO likes to have their 10 episode. I think they like the 10 episode number because a lot of the series that I'm watching now are 10 episodes. So I think they like to get it around there. So I think the word is that's 9 episodes is The Last of Us. So they're stretching it out to 9, and they're going to put more story between the new characters that we're going to meet that are just for the show. I believe we're going to meet her this episode. And so it's kind of one of those things here, but I'm not hating on it whatsoever. The 9 episodes are worth it if they're going to be what we got so far. It's definitely interesting and pretty exciting. Jonathan Waters says, Q&A, remember Mr. Garvey, the teacher who purposely pronounced names wrong? What if he's doing roll call for Walking Dead, Last of Us, or Under WE? That would be funny. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have, is that the Key and Peele bit where the guy's like Balake and his name's Blake, but he's like Balake or Aaron for Aaron? Like it's pretty funny. Yeah, they're pretty funny. So the other thing I want to talk about, guys, is my wife and I last night we watched Teen Wolf, the movie, and I've never watched Teen Wolf in my life. Well, my wife used to watch it years ago, and it's on Paramount Plus. So like, hey, we'll check it out. We'll watch it. And my wife said that Father Gabriel's in it, Seth Gilliam, and he is. He's in it. He's in it right away. He's in a decent part of the movie. And every time I'm watching him, it's cool to see. Like, I love the idea of watching the actors from The Walking Dead, but he's always going to be Father Gabriel. He's always going to be Jerry. It's always going to be Rick. It's always going to be Daryl. It's always going to be Maggie. It's always going to be Carol. There's always Michonne. They're always going to be, the people that are from the story of The Walking Dead, even though it's Lauren and Norman and Melissa, too. And then there was also the other woman that was from the prison, Tyrese's girlfriend. She's in there. She's like the mom of one of the main characters. And it's cool just to see them. Like, hey, it's so-and-so. I thought her name was, I want to say like Melissa Ponzio or something. Ponzio was her last name. And so I was like, hey, that's so-and-so there too. And then there's another guy in it. And I'm like, why does he look familiar? You know when you watch a movie or you watch a show and you're like, where's that from? Where is she from? And then the guy I'm watching, he's like a police officer in the movie. And I'm like, who is that guy? What is he from? And then probably about halfway through, I'm like, he's Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat, the first movie. And you're like, hey, Johnny Cage, that's him. And I'm like, yeah. And then I can move on with my life. You gotta get that, scratch that itch that is on your back or whatever until you can get it. Yeah. James, I have watched Peacemaker on HBO Max, and it was pretty good. James Gunn does a great job. Everything he's been involved with for Marvel and DC so far has been good. He knows how to make rewarding television and movies for the viewers. And my wife and I were also watching this other show called Poker Face on Peacock, and it's the girl from American Pie. She's friends with the group. She's friends with Tara Reid and Finch in American Pie. She's got like I wouldn't say curly, but it's kind of curly-esque reddish hair. And I don't know her name. I don't know what else she's been in. But if you know her, she's the main character in Poker Face. And it's on Peacock. And I think it's 5 episodes right now. They add a new episode every week. They added the first 4 episodes at launch, and then it's a weekly episode. And we watched the first 3 episodes. And it's a cool, different show. It's a different show that I recommend for you guys to check out. It's by Rian Johnson, and I've always think of Rian Johnson as the guy who did a terrible job with Star Wars Episode 8. It's just like, nah. But he does a good job. He also did Glass Onion. It was just not that great, but he also did Knives Out, which was good. And the Poker Face so far is a good, different kind of show. And I don't want to give too much away, but if you like something kind of, it's not like murder mystery, but stuff happens every episode that we get to see kind of what happened, and then she puts it together what happened, because it's just kind of the format of the show. And they have a lot of good actors in it already. There's a bunch of different people in it. It's worth watching. Yeah, Rob, I saw that Michael Cutlitz is going to be Lex Luthor on the Superman series. I think it's the Lois, Superman and Lois series? The guy who plays Superman is actually on Teen Wolf as one of the people. I think his name's Derek on Teen Wolf, and he plays Superman in it. And I saw someone when Michael Cutlitz got the job as Lex Luthor on this show. I never watched Superman and Lois as the show. I could be saying it wrong. I don't know, but it was everywhere. It was on like comicbook.com and all these different things on Facebook. It was everywhere. I was like, yes, I know Michael Cutlitz is Lex Luthor. I got it. It's like enough. I've seen it, 15 times in different groups. People are posting it crazy. The other show my wife and I watch, it's on break now, and it's the final season, is Titans. So it's the 5 seasons, I think, and it's on the halfway point. It's either 4 or 5 seasons. And it's halfway right now, and then the next remaining episodes are that's it. That's all we're going to get of the series. And it's a cool thing, but the show has been all over the place. Like one season they're like this, and the second season's over here, and the third season's over here, and this season's like, what are we talking about? But it's connected with, the DC universe, and so it's an interesting take on it. And I don't really know much about them, but because I know like Teen Titans, the cartoon, there's Cyborg in that. And that's actually the voice of that is Kari Payton, who played Ezekiel on The Walking Dead. He's the voice of that animated character, Cyborg. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, once Last of Us is done, I think it's time for Red Dead Redemption 2 to make a TV series. What do you think about that? I think that would be great because, like I said before, like streaming is not going anywhere. Streaming is where we're at. Streaming is the future. Right? And look at all the services that are there. They're adding stuff all the time, like every couple years. It started off with like Hulu. And now we have Netflix. And then we have AMC Plus, Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus. What else do we got? There's a million pluses. There's a million all these things there too. MGM Plus now. Used to be Epix. You have all these different things. And it's just crazy that you need content for all these things. Like if you want to watch Disney Plus, Mandalorian, you have to have Disney Plus. If you want to watch Stranger Things, you have to have Netflix. If you want to watch all the Taylor Sheridan shows, except for Yellowstone, that's on Paramount, but you have to have Paramount Plus for Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, 1883, 1923. So 1923 came back. I think is my guy Tim in here? So I know Tim posted on there because I said that 1923 is getting a next season, season 2. And I posted that there too. And he was right. It comes back today. Like it was like 4 episodes or so. And then the 5th episode came back today. So I don't know if we're going to watch it tonight or tomorrow because The Last of Us is tonight and this. And like, what do you watch, right? It's like, the Sundays. And then I got to get up early tomorrow because I start my new job. So for those who weren't here last week, I got a new job as a home health physical therapist, same profession with a different company. And I have to get up early to drive like an hour to the office for orientation to get my tablet and my phone and my supplies and all the stuff I need to do the job. And hopefully I don't have to go there too often because it's like an hour away and it's kind of annoying and I got to pay tolls to go over the bridge and all this stuff too. And so hopefully it's not like I have to go there to, Tim, I saw today that 1923 came back today. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to watch it today or tomorrow, 1 or 2, but, I don't mind letting that go a little bit so we can watch. Like I like watching an episode a day. So it's tough to watch it and then you got to wait a week and watch it and wait a week because Netflix spoiled us, right? So Netflix puts all their stuff right up. Boom, here you go. All 8 episodes, 10 episodes, whatever it is. Check it all out. So then people watch 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is, and they watch it all. And they're like, boom, yeah, watch it, I can't believe it. And they spoil it for everybody. Like, oh, my goodness, what are you doing? Right? So thank you guys for everybody for the kind words and the congratulations. It's pretty cool. It's, it sucks that I had to get a new job and then another new job and then this other job and the new job and so there too. So it's, so we'll see how it's going to go. And hopefully this company I get to work for a long time. And because I'm like a loyal person to my employer, like I don't want to have to keep finding a job. I just want to keep doing my job, know what I got to do, know what I got to improve on, keep doing what I'm doing is right and keep, improving every time, whether it's with the computer, documentation, whatever. And that's what you do over the course of that too. I graduated PT school in 2009. So in July licensed and August practicing, it'll be 14 years in August. I've been a licensed physical therapist for 14 years. And I don't know if I'm going to work. I would like to work for like 25 years. I think that's a great amount of time. But we'll see if I make it that long. Because in any kind of any kind of profession, but especially the medical profession, it may not be... to make it that long is tough, to make it 25, 30 years, with one, I don't know how people make it with one company for 25, 30 years, like Gone are the days when you're getting a pension through a company and all this stuff, and you're getting stock options, or you're getting stuff to do that, and you keep working your way up, and 401ks and matches and all that stuff. It's just crazy. I don't know. I don't know how people do it. Yeah. It's all right, Jeannie. You don't have to, let me know. She says, I'm trying to remember an example of how Bryce's predictions were 50% right. Of course, I can't think of any at the moment. It's all right. It's all fun. Again, it's predictions. Some of the stuff's out there. Some of it's fun. Some of it's this. Some of it's on there too, So, so the other thing is that it looks like the Norman Reedus post that I put in the video on his, Instagram, at Big Bald Head, if you want to give him a follow. Like Negan1, he says, I've been same company 33 years now. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And that's good. And I respect that for sure. And hopefully they're taking care of you. You got good benefits. You got good options. You could hopefully get some stock, because I think the company you work for is, good company with stock and stuff there too, potentially. So that's awesome. That's nice. And I salute that. I'm a supporter of that. That's pretty cool stuff. But so the the Daryl show. Let's talk about that for a little bit. So the Daryl Dixon show it's still filming right now in France or Paris or wherever it actually is, some place in Europe. I'm in not exact location. So the other thing is, like, Norman Reedus posted on his Instagram some pictures of these boxes, these white boxes, and it has like stuff on there and blah blah blah, and A's and B's and stuff. So, but it says "Raise the Dead" in the top left corner of like every box, right? And it's so the thing is like, I know that we don't have a title yet for the Daryl show. And it's probably going to be something The Walking Dead something, right? Because we have The Walking Dead, Tales of the Walking Dead, Walking Dead World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead. So it's either The Walking Dead and then words, or the something Walking Dead. It's The Walking Dead Dead City. We don't know the Rick and Michonne title, even though it's being called Summit. I know it's not being called, I doubt it's going to be called The Walking Dead Summit. That doesn't make sense, right? So The Walking Dead in the name is going to be somewhere. Like it's Fear the Walking Dead, which I'm really glad season 8 is going to be it. It's definitely on there too. So yeah, Adam. So if you check out my video, Raise the Dead is definitely in that video where it's funny. I don't know if it's funny or not on there too, but I saw a couple posts on it and it wasn't really much. And, I made the video, and then these other groups are like saying, Raise the Dead. So hopefully it comes out now, because like it's kind of spreading more and more and more about Raise the Dead. I don't know when the show is going to come out. I don't know where it's going to be. It's definitely something that makes sense for us to get the title. Like they should know the title by now, right? So I'm thinking that, because like The Walking Dead was Isle of the Dead. Right? Like Island of the Dead, but Isle. And then that changed to Dead City. So did they jump the gun and let us know that Isle of the Dead was the name, but they didn't have permission to use it? Or were they just giving you the production title? But either way, they have like photographs with it or art with it. And it's telling you like, okay, Isle of the Dead, then the Lincoln Tunnel and all this stuff. They're showing you that it's New York City. And it says Isle of the Dead, right? We all saw it. And it's definitely something that changed pretty quickly. Like it wasn't like it took months and months and months. I think it was like probably a month or two that it was like, no, it's Dead City now. Okay, cool. But The Walking Dead and Gimple, or whoever is in charge of that, and I don't know who the person is, but they do have that notion to like split it out there, like throw it out there. Like, yeah, Walking Dead's doing this, 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 and this. Get ready for it. Here's the names. Here's the titles. Here's this. What? And they're just giving us like too much information. Is it like, remember back in the day when the spoiler groups were there? Like, there was that huge spoiler group that did a lot of information on there too, and they're like, they're ruining it, da 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 da. And the spoiler group was like, well, actually, this person said this, and that person says this, and this producer's done this, and this, and they showed you who was actually showing things, and they're just doing their homework and keeping track of it. And then they would also have potential spoilers and information and stuff like that. So it was a combination of both. And that's kind of what I've seen too, is that The Walking Dead has kind of given out a lot of information over the years. But I just don't know when the Daryl show is going to get a name. Because it's filming right now. You don't have to have anything. It's in production. And I know they were filming all this week. I don't know what episode they're on, how much longer it is. But again, if it's 6 episodes. So let's just do the math, simple math, right? So if it's 6 episodes, and it's usually 2 weeks per episode. Monday through Friday. So 5 days, so 10 days. 5 days each week, and then times 2. So if it's 2 times 6 is 12. There's 4 weeks in a month. It's 3 months. And I believe on one of those boxes, I saw a date of October. So if they started filming in October, maybe they filmed like October. So like 2 weeks there was the first episode. Then you did like 2 weeks in November. Took some time off for Thanksgiving. And then filmed 2 more weeks in December and took time off for the holidays. They were probably about 3 episodes done there. They started back filming in January, I'm guessing, because they're filming now. So they could be around episode 4 or 5 right now, and they probably got it. So I'm guessing February they'll be done. That's just my guess right now. So I don't know if the production, schedule or anything like that, but that's just maybe it goes into March, but right now we're in February. It's just crazy. Like, I feel like January always takes forever. It's always like the longest month after November, after December. It's like a quick February, but January takes forever, right? It's like, man, we're still in January? Man, what day is it? January? What? We're still in January? Like, it's like, man, and then we get to February, it's like, and now it's February 5th already, right? And then there's only 28 days, so it's like one of those things where like, man, we'll be in March before we know it. And so we'll get there for the production. Fear the Walking Dead, last thing I know, they were still filming in Savannah. And I was thinking about this, right? I don't know why. I woke up, was it today or yesterday or whatever? And I was like, Morgan has to come back to Virginia, right? Like, what's the end game for Morgan? Like, I don't care about Strand and Daniel. Like, who cares? Who cares about any of those people, right? Morgan is what we care about, or a lot of us care about in Fear the Walking Dead. Some people care about Strand, and they like this, and blah, blah. And I used to like Daniel and all stuff, but they wrote that character like when Strand, whatever. Madison, come on, right? Alicia, she ever coming back? Althea ever coming? Are these characters ever coming back? So Morgan, I would assume that Morgan comes back to Virginia, right? Maybe he's in Georgia. It would be really cool to see Morgan in Georgia. He's at his old house, or he's over here, and he goes by the prison, or he gets to see the old stuff, Terminus, or whatever it is, and he goes by certain places, and it's in shambles or whatever. And he goes to Virginia. He goes to Alexandria, or he goes to the kingdom. And he doesn't know, right? He doesn't know the kingdom has fallen apart because he left at the end of season 8. He goes there, and the kingdom is, in shambles. And then he goes around here, boom, boom, boom. And then he goes to a property, say it's there. And then I would assume, like, Morgan could be reunited with Ezekiel. Because he was connected with Ezekiel at the kingdom. It was Morgan and Carol were at the kingdom. It would be really cool to see that if that's the end game of Fear. But Fear the Walking Dead has always distanced himself from The Walking Dead. And that's probably one of the biggest problems. Like, you have this gold standard of a show of The Walking Dead, and you don't want to have a connection with them. We want to have a whole new group, a whole new family across the United States, has nothing to do with The Walking Dead, and we're supposed to just be okay with them. Enjoy the story, enjoy the content, enjoy this, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't do that until season 4. So the first 3 seasons are like, what am I watching this for? Season 4 comes around Morgan, and then Dwight, Sherry, and then John, June, and all. It's just like all these crazy things. Yeah, the other thing is, like, Genius, to your point, Morgan's first stop, if he went back, would be Alexandria. Well, it depends on where he's at. You know, like, if his first stop would probably be Oceanside, right? Because if he's got to get back to Virginia, how's he getting there? Car, bus, boat, motorcycle, horse, you know, what's he getting there? Most likely a boat or something. He would steal something from Padre and go up there. Does he find the bottle? Does he find the green bottle that Rick threw? A lot of people think he makes the most sense that Morgan finds it, right? But in the bottle, he's not writing like, yeah, there's this CRM group, and I hope you guys are okay, and don't trust anybody, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, we are the ones who live, and blah, blah, like, it's like, stupid. What do you write in the bottle? Like, it's just stupid stuff. Like, you didn't write any information where you are. You're in Philadelphia. Like, you didn't write anything that would be helpful to anybody. You're like, these are motivational words, so stay alive, dude. No. Right, I'm in Philadelphia. Come save me. I need your help. Blah, 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 blah. I've been here. This is the date or something. Throw it in the water. Write another one. Throw it in the water. No, throw it in the water. Like, what are you writing? Like, it was just so nonsense. Like, we are the ones who live. We are the ones who live. We are the ones who live. Great. Of course you're the ones that live because everybody lived. Like, it's just so stupid. And that's the way it ended. But if it doesn't end correctly, if it doesn't feel satisfying, if it doesn't make sense, it's just one of those crazy things that you're like, come on, right? What are we doing with the Walking Dead ending? Okay, we got to Channel Side. I keep saying Channel Side. We got to Oceanside. Great, that fell apart. We don't know what happened there. That needs to be explained. And then Morgan could actually explain that. Morgan going back there, it would be really good. But we got Alexandria. We got Hilltop, of course, and we got the Commonwealth. So it makes sense that all connects with it. CRM needs to be the bad guys. CRM needs to do all this stuff and needs to go where it is for that too. But the end game, what is it going to be? It don't need to be Negan and Maggie. It definitely don't need to be that. It don't need to be Daryl and France. It don't need to be that. It needs to be Rick, Grimes, Michonne, some sort of way being connected with Judith, RJ, Commonwealth, Daryl, Carol, Maggie, Morgan, all the we need the stuff to be, reunited, right? Right, exactly. So Morgan doesn't know anything. Morgan left. The war was over. He left the area. The junkyard was there. They filmed around that with Rick talking to Morgan and Jesus talking to Morgan and Carol talking to Morgan. Morgan left. Right? So Morgan doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about the Whisperers. He doesn't know anything about, the Savior stuff. He doesn't know anything about any of that there too. And it's not that big a deal, but it is because we want him to come back around again and we're supposed to overlook things. And there's probably going to be plot holes. There's probably going to be mistakes. There's probably going to be so many things that just don't make sense because Fear the Walking Dead doesn't make sense. Like the whole show doesn't make sense. From season 1 to season 8, it doesn't make sense. It makes little to no sense, in my opinion. So it's all over the place. We have different showrunners and this and then people and that. And you're like, I don't know. And then we're in Texas and nuclear bombs and it's like, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. So Jonathan Wilder, did you hear Spider-Man 4 is in the making, a.k.a. the best Spider-Man? Come at me, comment section. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Spider-Man is one of those things. Spider-Man is like Batman. Spider-Man is the Marvel version of Batman. How many people have played Spider-Man? A lot. How many people have Batman? A lot, even more. So it's one of those things where we'll see what goes with that. And again, I'm like kind of distancing myself from the Marvel stuff. Like Ant-Man's coming out. I could care less about that movie. Don't matter whatsoever. I just don't know what they're going to do with the other story of, I don't even know what's captivating out there. Until the X-Men show up, because I'm a huge X-Men fan, I don't really care too much about Marvel because Disney bought the rights to Fox, who owns X-Men, and now they own the rights and they own Marvel. So X-Men versus whoever can be done, and that'll bring me back into the world of that when the X-Men come around. Well, like I should say if, but most likely when, right? Because that's kind of what it's got to be. So yeah, I'm watching. I don't know if you guys are watching any of the Pro Bowl stuff. If you guys care about that, I've watched the Skills Challenge, like one thing. Because it's been on awkward times. Like I watched it yesterday, and it was the dodgeball thing with the AFC, NFC, and the NFC finally got some points. The AFC has been dominating right now. Peyton is dominating Eli with AFC because they're the coaches. But I tried to watch it a little more today, and of course, what was on the dodgeball again? I was like, I want to watch something else. Like I don't want to watch this. But I'm glad the Pro Bowl is more of skills competitions than anything, because I don't care about nobody cares about the actual Pro Bowl football game. It's like touch football anyway. I'm actually playing flag football this time instead of actually putting the pads on and not tackling anybody, too. But yeah, King says love the Manning. I love the Mannings too. The NFL and ESPN and everybody should be really thankful that you have Peyton and Eli that are so captivating and interesting, and like, you might not like them as a football player, but you have to respect the Mannings. Like, Peyton, Eli, even Cooper, and then Arch coming up next in the University of Texas. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. You're just kind of like, you have enough Mannings all over the place to watch some things, and it keeps people interested. You're going to see them enough in commercials. You're going to see them enough on there, and they're just like, I don't know, it's cool to watch. So we got that, and like I said, tonight is Last of Us. And if you watch 1923, the episode's back on Paramount Plus, so you could watch that beforehand. And then, it's interesting stuff. I mean, it's February 5th. We're getting there, guys. So like I said before, it's weird to not have a Walking Dead show in February, right? Like, it's just one of those things where February comes around, it's Walking Dead. October comes around, it's Walking Dead. So if the Daryl show's not in October, I'll really be surprised, because that seems like to me, well, maybe it's an August show now. Like, I don't know what they want to do, but it's just kind of weird to not have any Walking Dead stuff coming up this month. We're not getting any Walking Dead stuff until May, which is crazy. May 14th. Crazy. Let me see. John Q&A. Did you hear Rush Hour 4 is also making as well? People just like coming back. Yeah, well, you know what works? Like, I like the idea of having stuff that was successful and not rebooting it. Continue it. Like Top Gun Maverick worked really well because it's the same movie as Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick and Top Gun's the same movie. Tom Cruise is still in it. And it's the same kind of story arc where they have to go bomb this and work. Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's basically the same story. But it's not, I don't know if it's a legacy sequel or whatever you want to call it, but it works because you have Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer, Goose's son. You have people from the original thing and can continue it, right? You didn't recast. You didn't redo the same story with a new Maverick or a new Iceman or a new Goose, you have those characters with the same people, and that's why it really works. If you can continue that in any way, shape, or form, like, I really want to see one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies is, oh man, I'm blanking on the number. It was Days of Thunder. I was thinking everything else besides that. Days of Thunder. And Michael Rooker's in it, and all these people are in it, and blah, blah, blah. And it would be great if he redoes his role as Cole Trickle, and Michael Rooker, something, and then, like, that would be a great continuation story. Like, he's on the way out, the new technology, the new cars, the new drivers, the new way of things, and he's been there one last race or something. Like, you could do it. I think it would be great. And it's a cool thing to continue the story of things, not rebooting it like, what was that? Point Break. Terrible second movie. The first movie with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze is great. I would love to see a continuation of something, of, someone's kid or someone's this or someone's, something about it, a continuation of the story, and call it, Point Break 2 or whatever. It's Top Gun Maverick. It's not Top Gun. It's Top Gun Maverick, not Top Gun 2. It's like, I don't know. I think you could do certain things like that too. Certain things like, I don't even know where the last Rush Hour movie left off. The first two were pretty good. The third one, I don't really know there too, right? Exactly. Jeannie says, I love sequels way better than reboots. I don't know one good reboot. Like, give me one good reboot that I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. But then there's more terrible reboots, even if there's a couple, then, there's good sequels. We need sequels. We need continuation of the story. If the actors are still alive, let's continue with those same actors. Because we like to see that. And that's why I think Marvel is way better than DC because we have the same Iron Man, the same Captain America, the same Thor, the same characters except for blank on his name, Rhodey, sorry, like he was the recast, and you're like, come on, right? Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. But like, so I guess Star Trek. That's kind of, but I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan either. But stuff like that, it's not like you had you didn't reboot Star Wars and have a new Luke Skywalker or a new Han Solo, right? Yeah, Dredd, I'll give you Dredd, but it's a different story too. Like, it's not the same thing where, like, Judge Dredd, I had high hopes for that movie with Sylvester Stallone. Like, why is Rob Schneider in there? Herschel's actually in that movie. He's in that same movie. And I like the idea. I like the idea of future stuff and, just stuff there too. That's why I write my book series, Fight for Us. It's in the future of the way the world could go and stuff around there too. But it's definitely something that Total Recall is terrible. I do not like the new Total Recall compared to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Recall. Like, it's just not a good thing. John asks, and maybe you guys know this answer, what's the difference between a reboot and a remake? I always get them confused. To me, they're synonymous with each other. I think it's the same. I like a reboot is the redoing of the thing with a new cast as the same people, the same actors. A remake is the same. To me, the remake is the same thing. A remake is the same thing. They're remaking a movie with different actors as the same characters. Right? Like, it'd be really weird to see Indiana Jones as anybody but Harrison Ford. And I can't believe they're making a Indiana Jones 4 or whatever with Harrison Ford. He's like 80 years old. Like, he's doing stunts on there too. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, so either way, I hate it when they remake the same things with the same story with different actors as the same character. That's the worst. That's the worst thing of it. So I know there's always been talk about The Walking Dead, if they're ever going to do that. Like, would they redo The Walking Dead with a new Rick Grimes, a new Daryl, a new Carol, a new Maggie, a new Negan, a new this, a new that, a new, like, I don't think so. I don't think they're ever going to do that. Right? I mean, never say never. To me, it doesn't make sense that Madison was going to come back, so it didn't make sense for her to come back in my eyes. So I was like, they're not going to bring Madison back. But they did. And this shows the chaos and the craziness that Fear the Walking Dead is. That makes no sense to bring stuff, to write them off, to kill them off, to do this, but never show a body, never that. And they didn't bring it back too. So, yeah, exactly. Never say never. But I don't know. Like, it'd be so weird to see anybody else play the characters of The Walking Dead. And I wouldn't want to see the same exact thing where The Walking Dead is Rick and Rick walks down to go to the get gas and takes out Teddy Bear Girl and then walks into here and then he's talking to Shane and gets shot and then he's in the hospital. He wakes up. Like, I don't want to see any of that. Do you guys want to see that? Yeah, a what if scenario is big difference. Like, if you had a what if, to remember, like, Tales of the Walking Dead was supposed to be like live action, animation stuff. They were going to do all that. We didn't get no animation. There were no things like that for Tales of the Walking Dead. There was none of those things. So I don't even know what they wanted to do with that show. And if they don't know what they're going to do with it, how are we supposed to feel about it, right? So. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on television, streaming stuff on there as well, and it's a crazy time we live in. And I was telling my wife that I was like, man, remember going to Blockbuster because we're watching the '90s show, and remember, nowadays you just watch it on one of the streaming services. You do on that too, and go into Blockbuster. And I remember But I told my wife there was a thing Blockbuster used to do before it went out of business, and Netflix was DVDs in the mail. That you can go to Blockbuster and rent 2 movies at a time for a month, like every day. And there was one summer that I was back home in New Jersey, and not much was going on for that too. I was working and trying to save money for physical therapy school, so it was between undergrad and grad school. And I got a month thing at Blockbuster, and I could rent 2 movies at a time. I would go home, rent them, do that, take them home the next day, rent them, take them back. And after a while, you run out of movies. Because how many, I'd watch older movies. And I'm like, okay. And then done, take it back. And then by like the 20th day, new releases would come out on Tuesdays. And there wasn't anything that great. And I remember there was this terrible movie with Vin Diesel in it called The Pacifier. And he's like, I don't know if he's a military guy or whatever he was, and he's like babysitting these kids. It was terrible, but I was like, hey, I'll watch it, because what else am I going to watch, right? I've already watched The Godfathers and Heat and this and Goodfellas and all these other things. Watched so many different things. And then Fridays, my wife was like, yeah, I remember going to Blockbuster on Friday nights to get a movie for the weekend. And remember, movie rentals would be like $5 or like $6. That's crazy. To rent a movie for $6 where you can get a month of a streaming service for $7, $8, $15, $20 for a month. It's like $1 a day. Less than $1 a day. If it's $20, if the streaming service is $20 and there's 30 days in a month, it's less than $1 a day for your streaming service to watch all these different things. That's crazy. The time, right? But I was telling her Netflix used to have, you could rent it. You could have, I used to get 4 DVDs at a time, and I'd be watching like the series like Robin Big or Aqua Teen Hunger Force or like stupid stuff like that, and just watching those things on Netflix on the DVDs, and then you would put it back in the sleeve and then mail it back and then get something in your queue after that. Nah, John, I'm probably not going to watch Elimination. The next thing I'll probably watch is WrestleMania. So I like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. Those are the big wrestling things that I watch. Unless there's a big match coming up, I'm just ready for Roman Reigns to lose the title. Like, if Cody Rhodes does not beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, something is wrong. Roman Reigns, to me, is boring. He's very boring as a champion. He needs the Usos and the Bloodline, where usually the guy on top, John Cena or Ultimate Warrior or Hulk Hogan or whatever, he doesn't need an entourage around him. He's just the man. Like, all I know is that Cody Rhodes, to me, like Cody Rhodes was one of the reasons why I watched Royal Rumble. And it'll probably be one of the reasons why I watch WrestleMania, is to watch Cody Rhodes wrestle Roman Reigns. And if Cody doesn't win, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, yeah, guys, so tonight, Last of Us on there as well. The other thing, because I was going through the channels on one of my things, and we watched the end of Gladiator. And they're making a Gladiator 2. Like, what? Spoiler alert, they both die. Maximus Aurelius is dead. So, I don't know who's going to be in this movie. How many years later is it? Is it a prequel? Is it this? 2? I don't know who's going to be in it, but I saw that they were trying to make it for some time now. Because Gladiator is a good movie. It's a little long, but it's a good movie. And I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna pull that one out, on there as well. But so I was like, man. Jeannie says Gladiator 2 is about the first dude's kid. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know, right? Jonathan Wilder, did you see Hocus Pocus 2 when they came? Huh? Hocus Pocus 2. I saw the second movie, on Disney Plus, but yeah. Yeah, Joker 2 should be good. Because Joker 1 was good. But all right, guys, that's my time. I'll take any other questions here to in the last minute or so of it. But yeah, guys, so I don't know what my training schedule is going to be like for my new job, so the videos may be less this week or whatever. I'm, with getting up early, driving, training, this, that, it's just a lot to do. But getting a new job, hopefully it gets that and back to it. And hopefully before you know it, I don't know, but I would say before you know it, but it's May 14th before the first, Fear the Walking Dead comes back. But we need a Fear the Walking Dead trailer. We need any more stuff for Dead City, and we need a title and a trailer for a Daryl show, and any updates with the Rick and Michonne show would be great as well. But we're in February now, so I don't know if they're filming or not, but hopefully we get more like it for sure. But all right, guys, thank you guys for being a part of this live stream today, February 5th, 2023. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, but I'm sure you're a subscriber if you're here. But thank you, guys. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Keep working hard. I'll see you next Sunday for Super Bowl Sunday with the Eagles and Chiefs. See